This is Yerushalmi Berachos Daf Chav Hey, and we did already a little bit at the beginning of the block, but I'm going to go over it again and tell you what it says in the art scroll. That Amar Avun Odi Amura LaSeder follows in a certain order, and it goes B'Tseiso Mitzrayim goes on the past and Gulas Mitzrayim, which is obvious. The Lo Lano Hashem Lo Lano L'Dorasol goes in this generation when. Our article says we're in Golus and we don't have base of Mikdash and no merit. So Kodesh Baruch should do things for the sake of his name. The next one we'll have to give Hashem is Koli is in Moshe Mashiach because it says Afafuni Chevli Maves, and that is Chevli Mashiach, which of course would also answer the question of coming before Gog and Magog, because it's the Chevli Mashiach, of which Gog and Magog is the culmination. Isuchai Babosim Limos Gog and Magog. So before this pasuk it says Kol Goyim Spavuni. So the Kol Goyim Spavuni is the minions, the legions of Gog and Magog, and then the pasuk goes on. Kel Shemelon Isuchai Babosim. After Kodesh Baruch Hu illuminates to us and saves us from Gog and Magog, we're going to make a special yontif. And Keli Atabodeka, that's Lasi Lavo, that's for Tchias HaMesim, which the article explains. Keli Ata sounds like you're talking to Hashem Panim al Panim, and that's Lasi Lavo. Like it says, Kodesh Baruch Hu, at the end of Tainis and the Bavli, Asa Kodesh Baruch Hu Latsos Mochel, that's Tzadikim. Each one says, Zeh Keli Manveu. Another pshat is, which I guess was the Pnei Moshe actually meant, is Vodeka is Roshon Yochid. So David is saying it on himself after he gets up by Tchilas HaMesim. He himself will thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, so that's where that is the first Gemara. We'll read up to yesterday, and now we're up to Rabbi Yaakov B'Shem Rabbi Shimon Levi. The Rabbi Yaakov named Rabbi Shimon Levi speaks about Shmona Esrei. So, Amishi's confused us. Say it, Tikna, Ikino, Shosh Baruch Sushanas, the first three Baruch Shmonasei, Shosh Baruch Achonos, the three last Baruch Shmonasei, Shivcho Shamakom. They're praise of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We say actually the first three are praise, and last three are thanks, but obviously thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu is praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the same time. Tzayos, the middle ones, Tzarchon Shabrios, are the necessities of human beings. Chaneinu Deo. So grant us wisdom. If you grant us wisdom, would say tshuva. Then afterward, then you should accept our tshuva. The article says in this, only after we requested, after we asked for das, can we ask for tshuva? Because if there's no das, there's no tshuva. Because without das, you can't distinguish between right and wrong. Let's slach lanu. Obviously, if our tshuva is accepted, then Baruch should forgive us. Slach lanu galenu. If you once you forgave us, then we're worthy of geula. Galtano chol yenu. So in a state of geula, we would anticipate having a refuah that, just like the Matan Torah, all those who were ill were healed. So too the geula hopefully will lead to a refuah for people. But the refuah is not considered, I guess, something supernatural, and therefore it can actually take place. Now, of course, it's not necessarily talking about in chronological order, and therefore we're going back and forth. Now we're going to say that the geula should lead to refuah, and but we can then say that refuah should lead to bracha, and it's not. As we go back in time, it's just the seder hadvarim. It has a continuity which is logical, one to the next, not necessarily in the totality, but rather from one bracha to the next bracha. So we go on and we say refu'enu. After refuah is basic, your health is everything. So then there could be a bracha after we have the refuah. Birachtosh noseinu kapseinu. So if you bless our ears, then you should gather us together. Um, so the way the article explains it is that after you finish asking for the individual, you start asking for the rabbi, which is Gulas Yisrael. Okay, but it said before, which seems to also be talking about the Gula previously. So I would say differently. I would say that this is after we have bracha, we are able to have aliyah l'rega. In other words, we take the brachas which we had, especially bikurim, and we bring them up to Yerushalayim to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kibatztanu, if we gather together, shaftenu b'tzedek. So judge us justly. The obviously for a kibbutz means a society, a collection, and again, it's going to continue from bracha to bracha, not necessarily overall, but a kibbutz is a society. So then we need to have just judges. Shaftenu b'tzedek. If we then in fact have mishpat tzedek, hachna kamenu, and we deserve HaKadosh Baruch Hu to subjugate those who rise up against us. Yichnata kamenu, when you subjugate those who rise against us, tzadkenu ba mishpat. So then we're able to be zeiche in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mishpat, not in before I talk about the mishpat basar v'dam. Now I'll tell you about HaKadosh Baruch Hu being HaKadosh Baruch Hu being matzik us in our mishpat, because obviously we have been able to overcome our enemies, particularly those who represent for us the Yetzer Hara and forces of evil. Tidaktanu, if you judge us justly, b'nei beis, then we deserve to have the Binyan Beis Hamikdash. Bnei beis here includes obviously it's time of David, time of the Yerushalmi. It's possible that it was one bracha, at least early on, and they divided up. But in any event here, it's included as Samach is not mentioned separately. Ushma Asirosenu. Well, of course, it's the Beis Hamikdash. Then the Beis Hamikdash is a place where Kodesh Baruch Hu listens to our tefillos. Even when there is no Beis Hamikdash, we're supposed to daven and have a mind that our tefillos should go up through the Beis Hamikdash, Kaviyachol, so to speak. This is Kodesh Baruch Hu should find find our avodah in the Beis Hamikdash acceptable. Yeah, so that's from going to Shema to Ritzei. Although Ritzei is technically part of the last three brachas, but there's a continuity there. So Leis Surcha, so the Gemara says, wait a minute, really, this shouldn't be this way. It should be the other way around. It should be Shema Tfilas Seinu V'nei Beisecha, because our tefillas are for the beginning of the Beis Hamikdash. And then we shall Kodesh Baruch Hu should listen to our tefillas and bring us and rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, and then find us acceptable within it. Just like the Pasuk's order, so to the Brisa's order is the same. And of course, Shemar Esrei's order is that way. That's the bringing us to the Beis Hamikdash. And I will cause them joy in the house of my prayer. So first bring us there and build it, and then the prayer afterwards. 100 elders, 120 elders, and from them 80 and some odd Nevi'im. They enacted our Shmona Esrei. So the Rasim Rishonim points out that there are different versions in the Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi Megillah Perak Alpha it says Shmonim Chamishes Kenim. We're not 120, but 85. Then Shloshim Kanavim 30 Nevi'im. And the Rabbana Torah in Dvarim Daled Gimel says Peihes Kenim Umeim Kam Nevi'im. 85 elders and among them several Nevi'im. And the Bavli Megillah Yud Zayin Bey says Rabbi Yehuda says Me'ev Esrim Zkenim Uboim Kam Nevi'im. So there are different versions of how many there were and what exactly the numbers were. Since there were a lot, it's possible that there were several Talmidim who would be not counted among the 85, but counted among the 120. As we know, there are many Talmidim involved when the Sanhedrin was in session. So perhaps a similar thing happened at the time of Anshe Knesset Agdola. Umaru Lismoch Akel Kadosh L'Chonin Hadas. So why they put a Kel Kadosh next to Chonin Hadas? Hashem Yigdishas Kadosh Yaakov. They will pasuk in Yeshaya, Chavtes. They will sanctify the sacred, that which is the holiness, whatever. They'll make holy the holiness of Yaakov. Actually, we say later in that parak, Yadu Yadu To'e Ruach Bina. And they will people who make mistakes will be granted understanding. So this is obviously going into the order again from a different angle. Dea l'tshuva, Dea comes for tshuva. Hashmein leva amazev oznav achbeid ve'no b'sha. This nation made itself stupid. Their heart was fat, and their ears were heavy, and their eyes were not working. Ad v'lavo yavim b'shav, till the heart understood and got bina, and they did tshuva. Tshuva l'slicha, tshuva comes before slicha. B'yoshuva Hashem rachameu, who come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he will do tshuva and come to Hashem, and he will have mercy on you. Okay, to our Lord, because he will forgive us very much. So first tshuva and then slicha. Slicha l'geula. Slicha comes to geula. Geula because haslech chol avonaichi. Hashem forgives all your sins. Hafel chol tachloichi. He heals your illnesses. And redeems from destruction your life. So his question is, the order in the pasuk is slicha, refuah, geula. So why is our order slicha, geula, refuah? Ravacha said, you're right. Theoretically, it should be that way. But Neymar, he can't go. He saw the bracha shvius. Why they want to make go? He saw the seventh bracha. Why? Now, so it's only redeemed in Shemitah. The Bible says that Motzoi Shvius and David Ba. So the Yerushalmi seems to hold that in Shvius itself. Rabbi Yonah B'Shem Ravacha Shir Malos B'Shuv Hashem Shiva Sion. Shir Malos Shir Hamalos B'Shuv Hashem Es Shivas Sion. Nothing to do with the number. Sorry. Scratch that. Shuv Hashem Es Shivas Sion Shviasi. It's the seventh Shir Malos. So that is the one about the Gula. Diecha Shein Yisrael Negalim El B'Shvius to tell us that Am Yisrael is redeemed again in Shemitah. Rabbi Chia Barav Neima Iskinu Rofei Chol Bracha Shminis. Why is it the eighth bracha? That people who have a bris milah, they should have a refuah. The eighth bracha, the eighth day. Hashem Brisi Hoisa Ito HaChayim. And also there's a connection. The bris, my bris is with him, and therefore he deserves life as a result. Why is in Baruch Hashem the ninth bracha? Keneged Kol Hashem Shover Arozim. The sound of the voice of Hashem breaks the cedars. Shuasi l'shaber kol baalei shorim. Because Baruch Hu is eventually going to destroy all those who raise prices. So the Moshe explains Shovar Rozim, Shu Hashem Hachi Mizmor. This is the ninth name in that Mizmor. Shovar Rozim Remez Abali Sharman Yakim Esar Tua Mafkinas Ashar. So this is the But we want to have a bracha so nobody's going to be able to jack up our prices on us. And the ninth corresponds to that ninth mention of Shem Hashem in that Kapitel Tim Chavtes. Rabbi Levi B'Shem Chanina, Maru Usmo Mevarach Shanim, the Mekabetz Nidche Yisrael. What's the connection between Mevarach Shanim and Mekabetz Nidche Yisrael? Shem Batem Arei Yisrael Techem Tidnu. You, the mountains of Israel, your branches you will give. Prichem Tisu, and your fruit you will bear. Lami Yisrael, from my nation Israel. Lama, why? Ki Kavu Lavo. Because they are. Well, actually, that's the next line. Let's go. So this obviously connects to what we know in Sanhedrin. When so when there's a bracha and Eretz Yisrael starts producing the trees and fruit and all those things that they didn't produce during the time of the control of the nations of the world, that there's no greater kates than that. So therefore, this is the connection between the bracha in Eretz Yisrael and the kibbutz golios and the ultimate gula. That is Mekabetz Moshe and the Mekabetz Nidche Yisrael. And Lama Ki Karvu Lavo, because they that's part actually the pasuk, I think. Sorry. Yes, it's part of the pasuk. I should have read it as part of the pasuk. Sorry, that's the when the army is close to come back to Eretz Yisrael, when the gula is on its way. That's when there's going to be a bracha. And then there's going to be a harbinger of the kibbutz golios. The tzkabso golios, when the golios come back there to Israel, the exiles come back there. So vadin naaseh, and justice is performed properly. Hazeim nichnoim, the wicked people are subjugated. Tzadikim, that's the Moshinim. Tzadikim smechim, al tzadikim, the tzadikim rejoice. We learned about concerning this. When you talk about Machnei Zaydim, you also include Minim and Rishoyim, heretics and wicked people in general. And V'shel Gerim, V'shel Zkanim, in Ma'al Tzadikim, we include a bracha for Gerim and for Zkanim. And V'shel David B'bonei Yerushalmi, and we give bracha for David and B'nei Yerushalmi, again, as I said before. And you can see in the Charedim that in the Yerushalmi, initially at least, they were considered to be one long bracha. After Am Yisrael comes back there in Yisrael, they're going to ask for the Hashem to be their God and David to be their king. So Rabban said the Melech HaMashiach in min chayo David Shmei. If it's somebody who's alive, his name is David. This is not in the Bible. Probably another other names given from Mashiach, but Yerushalmi says that if it's a live person, it's going to be a live person named David. If it's going to be from a dead person who comes back to life to be Mashiach, who David Shmei, David is his name as well. And this is, I believe, a source for what we say in Hoshanos, that who David Batzmo, that David himself comes back as the Mashiach, and that is one opinion here in the Yerushalmi, that Mashiach will actually be David himself. Amar Rabbi Chadan Chumer, Chumer says, Amri's Taima, I have a pasuk for this. Because Baruch will do kindness to his Mashiach, to David. So it's either somebody named David or David himself. Shubin Levi Omar Tzemach Shmo. So this name is in the Bavli. His name is Tzemach. Tzemach David. The growth of David. Rabbi Yunan Braid Rabbi Avo Omar Menachem Shmo. That's also in the Bavli. Omar Rabbi Chanina Braid Rabbi Avo. Rabbi Chanina of the Braid Avo said it's not a machlekes. Lo plige chushbnei dardei ke chushbnei dardei. The gematria is the same. Hu tzemach is 138. Hu menachem is also 138. So evidently, when the name is the same gematria, they can be considered to be similar. The Messiah, this is a right. This the Mari Brady Rabbi Ivu. This is going to be a right. His name is Menachem. Uvdava b'chad Yudoi. There was a certain story with a certain Jew, Dava Kohen. Rade. He was plowing. Gas Turte, and his ox screamed out. Kume Avarchat Aravi. And so an Arab was walking at that time down the road, I guess. The Shama Kola, and he heard the sound of the ox. Amale Bar Yudoi. So the Arab said, Jew, shari tu roch, let your ox go. Sharikan Kanach, let your plow go. The Chare base Mikdusha. The Mikdash has been destroyed. Cost Mantanyanos. Then the ox cried out again. Amale Bar Yudoi. Jew, Ketor Tarach, tie your ox back. Ketor Kankanachin, tie your plow back. The Lida Malyoli Malka Mashiach, because the Melech Mashiach is born. Amale Mashmei, Menachem. So he asked the Arab, and obviously this Arab is like Hutayo, which we have in the Bavli, was not a simple Arab, but some manifestation of Yonavi perhaps, or something like that. And he asked him, okay, so what's his name? So he said, Menachem, by the way, this is like the opinion that on the database which was destroyed, that the Moshiach was born. Amalei Mashmei, Menachem, Amalei Mashmei Avui, what's the name of his father? Amalei Chizkiah. His name of father is Chizkiah. Amalei Minheinu, from where is he? Amalei Min Biras Malka the Beis Lechem Yehuda. He comes from the Biras Malka, which is in the vicinity of Beis Lechem. Azal Zavin Turoi, he went and he bought oxen, Zavin Kankanoi, and went and bought plows. V'nafka Karya, and he went out and he went out to this, and I guess that I skipped the line. I guess he used the oxen and the plows to make money, and it's Abid Zovin Levadin Liminuka, and then he made himself into somebody who sells clothes for children. Go into a town and come out of a town. Adalu Karton, so he got to that town, Biras Malka. Having called Nashai and Nashai Zavnon, and all the women came to buy clothing. The mother Menachem lo Zavna, she didn't come to buy clothing. Shama Kolan the Nashaya, so he heard the voice of the women. I mean, saying, Imi the Menachem, Mother Menachem, I see Zuvna in Lebrach. Come buy clothing for your child. Amra, she said, Boya ana michnuke. So he said, I want to, Sanan the Israel. I would rather suffocate this enemy of Israel. So obviously the enemy of Israel, Russian side, it goes from talking about Jews, they call them Sanan Israel. But why? The Miyam Yisrael, Yichru Beis Mukdasha. And the day was born, Beis was destroyed. So it's like a cursed baby. Amar La, Richitzaya Anan. We are, she said, the man who came down, word from the Arab said, I am, Ben Arachitz, I am sure. The Baragle Chariv, that it was just on account of that day, it was destroyed, Beis Hamikdash, or on his account, it was destroyed, so to speak. But Ragle Yispanei. So on his account, it'll be rebuilt. Amarle, so the woman said, the mother Menachem, Leslie Pritin, I don't have money to buy. Amarle, Vumaich Basle. So I don't care if you have money or not. What difference does it make? Isu Zumnin Lay. Could come and buy it for him. In Lace Kumach Yomadain, if you don't have the money today in front of you to pay. B'sai Yomin on Asiv and Nasiv. Come back, a different day, and come back and take the money. B'sai Yomin Olu Karta. Some days passed, and he came back to that city. Amar, so he said to the mother, Mal Minu Kavid, what is this child doing? She said to him that in Shaita the Chamisani, from the time you saw me, Asun Ruchin, a wind came Louis and lifted her up, the Chatpinim Yodei, and took the child away from me. Obviously, there's a very profound mashal here. What exactly it is? Why do we have to learn from this Arab? So I guess he felt that the Arab was an Arab. In other words, not necessarily that was somebody with some special form of Ruach HaKodesh. Or maybe it just meant that we don't need the whole story. Because we have a Lomika Moli, who is an absolute explicit pasuk. Valvaram Badir Yipol, the Lebanon, which is the description, which is a term of the Beis Hamikdash, either because it was made from the cedars of Lebanon or because it's Lavnun, it bleached Avoyer Sabar Yisrael, will fall at the hands of Mighty One, which is what Yochanan Zakkai said for Vespasian when he met him. Maxi was to say afterwards, Yishai. The same day that, or the same time that the there will be a shoot coming off from the stalk of Yishai, which is obviously a reference to Mashiach.